Hello students, this is Dr. Prakash Pitroda, and in this session we are going to have functions and its types part 1. So we are going to introduce ourselves with the function and then we'll carry on with details of the functions in part 2, 3 and so on. So let us first understand what is your ICC syllabus. Your ICC syllabus talks about functions, methods, you can call module also, alright, and the meaning, and then we are going to go about learning the types of functions and how to carry them. So we start with the meaning of function. Function, the word function by itself has got various meanings. However, in computer when we talk about function, so if I show you a particular remote control here, then I can say function of this particular button is to switch on or off. There is a button over here to increase the temperature, decrease the temperature. So the function is doing some process, some task. Each particular button has its own task to perform. Similarly, in programming is also, you can have a program that can have many processes. You have already come across math functions in your class 9. You've seen that SQRT, POW, etc. These are the functions. They perform one single task. So your basic meaning is a function is a task or a process of a program used simultaneously at a different instances or objects of the program. So whenever you're running a program, each function has its own task. Whichever function is executed, that function will automatically perform its task. So in a larger program, you say is broken into a small pieces, and we use them easily and execute each and every task very easily. So you can say the small task here, we call them as function. Every program has its own task. If you to take a larger picture, you will find that a program has three major tasks. One is the input, then there is a process, and then there is output. There are various types of inputs, there are many types of processes, and there are many types of output as well. For example, I can do input using keyboard, I can have input using mouse, I can have input using this kind of a pen. There is a pen and there is a writing pad as well. So you can have input coming from various places. Alright, there can be a process, there are many processes. For example, very simple, if you are doing a program on a school report card, then once the data is input will be your name of a student, marks in 6 subjects, the class, roll number, etc. The processes are going to be finding out total marks, percentage, the rank, highest in a class, highest in division, average of the class. So many things can be done. That's your processes. And output is your report card. Student's report card is different. Class teacher's report is different. School principal may be wanting in a different format. So there are various ways the output is done. So there are three major general processes. But however, they are further divided again into subpart. Alright, so your function will help you to do each subpart separately, and then you will be able to perform or execute each one of them in a some sequential manner. Okay, some sequential manner, so as to ensure that your output is generated. So that is why it says these are small tasks. You can say they are small tasks and they are called functions. That is nothing but a process. Your task is nothing but a process. So each function is responsible to perform a process. Process is one particular task of a larger program. Now when we talk about large program, let us understand, you have written a program, probably a class, some name, you started with public static void main, and you got your all input using scanner or something over here. Then you've done some process, maybe addition, multiplication, division, subtraction, sorting, all right, condition, some kind of a process you've done to get the output. Okay, output also you can have many lines, and here is your you can say your main program, and here is your class. So in your main, when I say PSVM, that's your main. In your main only you have done each and every task separately, but in a professional programming this is not the case. In a professional program the case is absolutely different, because the size of the program is quite large. In your school you may have written any program probably up to 20, maximum you may go up to 30, may in a worst cases 40 lines. All right, 20, 30, 40 lines program you have written. These program goes into thousands of lines. All right, these are the professional programs. Now, for example, if you're writing a program for Bombay Stock Exchange, or you're writing a program for railway ticketing, it's a huge program. It needs a lot of effort. One person cannot do that. Only happens in Hindi movies. That one person can sit and write a program which can do a lot. But in professional programming, this is not the case. In professional programming, generally the client will call one of the team leader. Out of them, there will be one main team leader, and others are leaders for here. One leader from here, one leader from here, one from here, and one is a general leader. That makes four leaders. They will visit the client space. They will understand the needs of the client. They will understand what are the parameters that are needed, the various kinds of tasks that we need to have, different types of inputs, different types of processes, everything. Then they come back and they discuss with their team. Each team may consist of 4, 5, 10, 12, 15, depending upon the intensity and the size of the program. You will have team members, and each team is responsible to do a particular task of the entire large program. So team leaders will understand different types of inputs required, different types of processes required, output, and then they will take a specialist. There are people who are specialists in inputs. Now you may be thinking, "Arey, what is so big about writing input with scanner?" But then there are different types of input. I can have touchscreen input, I can have light pen input, I can have mouse input, I can have keyboard input, I can have a the barcode input. I can have a, you may have seen at shop, they have a barcode. There is a laser gun which reads. So there are various ways inputs are there. Some customers need multiple inputs as well. So the team will take care of that. All right, what kind of data needs to be accepted, and they will create that part. Processing team, once the data comes in, what are the processes, process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4. I can have n number of processes. All processes are discussed, decided, and again they are discussed and done by the team members. And then output, again there are different types of reports in the output. Okay, different types of reports, different formats of report based on who is to be given. So accordingly one team will look into that. So all team members will meet, the main team leaders will explain them the task, and probably this is just a random number. It could be more, it could be less, it could be very large. We really don't know, because at what place and at what intensity the program can be generated. But the point is that you can't write a program like this for a large program which is going into thousands of lines. The problem will come is if there is an error at one particular place. It If I am not able to identify that, then it is very difficult to scroll up 50, 60,000 lines, or probably even a lakh line, go up and down, finding out the error. And again, if you make a change in this particular place, we don't know how far it is going to affect the subsequent line at all. So it is going to be very difficult. Plus, if I have to get a new member in the team, it is very difficult, because you'll have to actually sit down and make the person again understand the whole process. So it is very difficult for somebody to come in and out, join or leave the team. It is very difficult to find the errors, and then especially when the errors are of logical type, it's going to be extremely difficult, because it's very difficult to find out where the problem is. And even if you're able to find the process and the solution, you don't know what is the subsequent effect on the remaining part of the program. Hence, you need to divide your program into different tasks. Now, these tasks are known as functions. So, let us understand further. Functions are further divided. We know function is a task, or a process. We have already seen. Now, if you look at your library, your functions are divided into library functions and user defined function. When I say library functions, we've already done these math.functions. It means your math.sqrt is a function to find out square root of a number. it cannot do anything other than finding out square root of a number. So it performs single task, one task. Alright, now this is of course a ready-made function which is supplied by Java. Okay, now Java supplies many ready-made functions for our benefit, so that we don't have to waste our time in understanding the nitty-gritty of that, and we can focus on the client's need. Now, sometimes all functions are not readily available. So, in order to ensure that these functions can be created by a programmer, you have user-defined function. User-defined functions are those functions which are defined for the needs of the user. We'll go more in detail. Alright. Now, this is what our topic for the day, meaning. Of course, there are two types of functions you will have: call by value, also known as pass by value. Many places value, and pass by a reference. Okay, so call by value, from exam point of view, you will be getting one question of 15 marks on this, one question of 15 mark on this. That makes 30 marks, plus there will be at least, so 30 marks plus at least 6 marks theory, that makes 36 marks. That is important, or importance of this particular topic is really important topic, and it's a need of the hour, because as in when you progress, you'll realize that most of the programs are done using functions. Now these functions are again of two types: void type and a return type. So as and when we progress, we are going to learn this. Today we are going to target only on this. Return type we will discuss in the next segment or next video. So let us see here. We've learned this right already, but just a revision. Library functions, they are ready-made functions. They are provided by Java. Okay, they are general purpose. They are needed to for all the programmers, or rather say all the programs I can use it. Alright, so they can be used very easily. Math function is one of the example. There are string functions available as well. As and when we learn string, we will discuss there. And of course, they are available in all parts of program. I can call them in any program, these math functions. So there is an example here, math.sqrt, which will give you 5.0. I'm sure you will go to the math.function segment as well. In case if you have not done it, you should first refer to that particular place. Now, today's task here, user defined functions. So apart from the needs provided, ready-made functions provided by Java, alright, so Java, there are other functions which is not readily available. So Java cannot provide you a ready-made function for everything. Then there is no need to have a program. So in that case, a programmer will have to go to the customer, understands his need, and then create a program which you can say fulfill the needs of the customer. And those functions are called user defined functions. We have seen there are two types: call by value, call by reference. So let us understand here. First, call by value, we are going to introduce ourselves. We begin understanding with how do I create a particular function. Alright, how do I create a particular function? So in that case, here is your syntax over here. You need to mention the access specifier, which is optional, modifier, which is also optional, but a return type is compulsory. Function must have a name, which is compulsory. You may have a parameter list or you may not have. So we'll learn each and every one of them in detail as and when time goes. And here is your process. So from here, open bracket to close bracket, you will be able to write the entire function what you want that particular process, you can say, to do. Okay, so we take an example. For example, public static void sum. Now since we are so used to writing public static void main, I have started with public static void main, but as and when we will progress, we will understand the meaning, and we will also learn to write functions without these two are optional. This is optional, this is also optional, but these are compulsory. This is needed, they needed. All three are compulsory. Alright, they are compulsory. So I'm starting with a simple example which we are all writing in general. Public static void main we are writing. Now we are writing some function. Though if you recollect, must have learned that main is just a name. You can write any name. So here is a name. Now ideally this name should be following the function convention 1. So in that case, you need to go back to the theory portion and understand what is the convention of writing a function with single word and multiple words. Also, you need to understand this function should be related to what task you are doing. You should not write something here and something else is happening. So you will write here the parameter list. So I am writing int x int y. So logically, there are two values coming from the keyboard. So keyboard will provide two values through a dialog box. Alright, you will have a dialog box over here which will provide one value for the x, one for the y. As soon as the value is coming, here is my, you can see here is your here is your open and close bracket. We are finding sum of these two numbers and printing that number. So the task, the process of this particular, or rather say the purpose of this particular function is to find sum of two numbers which are input by the user. So here is a very small function that we have learned. Okay. Now, once this function is written, you need to understand how to run this function. Running a function is called a function call. So running, these are very many names given there, many books, many exam papers also. You will find these words: reading, invoking, running, executing, or calling. A function or a method you can call means the same thing. That is running a function. So when you are running a function, let's say you want math function to run, you will say system.out.println math.sqrt of 25. So it means you are making computer run this function wherever it is by supplying this set of values, and computer will give you the answer 5.0. Similarly, if I have a function sum, public static void sum, which is just done in the previous slide, int x int y, so somewhere onwards this value will come, x value will be applied over here, y value will be applied over here, calculation goes into z and z gives you the output. Now how it is this? So wherever I want to write in general in main, so I'll explain you the meaning there as well further in the practical. So wherever I want to call, I must call it by its name. So I'm calling this function over here and I'm copying the value 10 and 25 onto y, which is going to say 10 plus 25. The answer is stored as 35, and on the screen I will get answer as 35 with whatever the message that we'll see in the practical. So this is your function call, run, execute, all these names that you see. Alright, from wherever you want you can make use of it. But when I say from wherever, we need to understand from where, based on from where it is being called, you will find the line difference. So let us see the practical part of it. So I will take you to the practical, kindly pay attention. Excuse me. So there we go. Let us assume that I have a function. Here is a function. So I'm going to start with probably, let us say I'll start even with a simpler function. Let us say okay, we'll start from here. I'm going to ensure that the program becomes as small as possible for you for the time being before we get into the inputs. Okay, so I have got a function here which I'm going to again change this entire program to make you user friendly as well, and I'm going to cut this from here as well for the time being. So here is a program you can see here. Simple void is a class name, public static void sum, C and D are my two variable, any two variable I can take. So C plus D, totaling will take place, sum will print sum. Product is again C and D, C into D, and product is printed. A very important thing for you all to understand is, though the functions are different, you can have same variable, they have got nothing to do with each other. They are two different blocks. This is a different function, this is a different function. The value of C here is different, here is different. Now, if I compile this program, it doesn't give me any error message because these are just two functions. If I want, I can close this program and I can run this program. See, if I right click here, I'll get both void sum and void product. If I run void sum, I'm getting a number to input. I put a number, and this is what is called testing a function. So I've written a simple function. I tested a function. I run come here, I write another function, I put another set of value, and I click on OK. I'm testing a function. So once you have written the function and you tested it, you are already aware of it that this function gives you correct answer sum of two numbers, correct answer product of two numbers. You may have taken few set. Now in practical, the function is written separately. Okay, please pay attention. This is not as easy as it seems in many cases. So you have taken a function. Okay, let us say I'm going to take a function over here, or let's say I'll create a new only program. So I want this function to run. Okay, so as a leader, say assuming that one of you are leader, and I'm writing a function name is a leader, leader. Okay, here is a function leader being created. So let us see where is the leader function. So here is a leader function. Okay, so I'm just showing you here the function that we have created over here. So in professional programming, how it is, each person who has a task, they will make their own task. Okay, and the team leader's job is to run those functions from their own program. So if I'm going to say control A and I say class leader, and if I say here public static void main, that's one of the reason it is called main function. The moment I run this function is responsible to run the other functions. That's why we write main. Main is written alright very easily in many of the programs, but the reason is here. Now suppose if I say system dot out dot println math dot sqrt of 25, as we have been seeing that. Alright, and I just close this program and I run this. It will, though there is nothing related to maths in this program, but this function is related running and giving me the output as 5.0. Now I can run even simple void programs, these functions also over here in my other program. So how do I write? This is how I write. Math is a ready-made class. In your math function segment, you must have seen it's a ready-made class. Like leader is a class, math must be a class which is ready-madely provided by Java. In math, there must be a function called sqrt, alright, which is receiving two, or rather say one number. So similarly in leader, I have a function called main. So as in simple void, I have a function called sum. So I can write simple void dot sum, and it needs two values, so I can provide. So I'm saying copy, alright, and I'm going to paste it over here straight. Simple void dot sum, it has a sum function, and I say 2 comma 3, and I say run. And simple void again I say dot product, and I say here 4 comma 5. So staying in this particular program leader, alright, the leader is writing a main function which is responsible to run few of the ready-made functions as well as functions created by the programmers. So if I'm going to close this program, my leader is running, you can see no syntax error. The moment you will see, you will find this line is showing here. This line shows that computer, right, the leader function, the main leader class is calling function, running a function of these classes. So when I'm going to run leader, you can see right click I'm doing on leader and void main. It is not only running the ready-made function math, but it is also running my function, alright, which is written in another class. So the leader can call anybody's function by writing a class name dot their function name. So it's as simple as that. So in professional programming, all classes are separate and each class may have its own set of function. I can add few more functions over here. If I want to add a function, I will come here, I will write down a function immediately over here. Alright, so it will be an addition. I can add function in between, before, after, it doesn't matter. As long as the main programmer is calling that function in some logical order. So now if I run this before this over here, then computer will run product first, then sqrt, then this. So in both cases the class is visited, then the function, and parameter is a list of values that has been supplied from your program to the other program here. Now, you being school student, you are not being asked, or no, will not be asked to run the main function from another class. You will be asked to run this function from itself, from the class itself. So in this program, I will have a function in class itself, my main. Alright, so I'm writing my main over here. So you can see some function is here, product is here, my main. So if I compile this program now, you will find that I don't need this. Okay, so when I'm going to run this program, I will get three: sum, product, and main. If I run sum, only sum function will execute. If I run product, only product will get executed. And if I run main, then indirectly it is going to run both of them. You can see this. So this is how the main is written here. But then, since we are in the same class, I don't need to visit. When you are from another class, you have to make computer visit to the class and then call the function. You're already in simple void. So you can avoid writing this. You can avoid writing this. Without this also it will work, because you are already inside. But only when you are into another program, then only you'll have to write down simple void dot product. Okay, so here it will work without even having those two you can say words, simple void, in both the cases. Then you can also have an input coming from the user. So suppose I want an input coming from the user, I can have a scanner class being created over here. So I'm just right now writing int a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 10, and these are the variables, and I can supply straight a comma b. Alright, and let's say a comma b. So it means now this function, this is very beautiful, this function is being called here. Value of a and b, which is 5 and 6. 5 has been supplied to c, 10 has been supplied to d, 5 plus 10, 15. And in this case product function will be called here, which is the first one. 5 has been supplied to c, 10 has been supplied to d, 5 into 10. Computer will first print the product and then it is going to print the sum. So if I'm going to compile this, I'm going to get this answer straight over here as 50 and 10. Now if I want user to input, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a program, and if I can write down, so there's nothing over here. Just trying to see from where I can get an input from the scanner. No, I don't think so. So we'll create a scanner over here on our own. So what we can do here is we have import Java already being written. We will write down here scanner SCANNER. SC is equal to new scanner into bracket system.in, and I'm asking user, alright, to enter an integer. So I'm going to copy this from here, I'm going to paste it over here, and I'm going to ask user enter an integer. User will type in something, so we'll say int a is equal to sc dot next int, and we will ask the same question again from the user, but this time we want to make use of B over here. So user will type in two numbers. User whatever will type will be also applied here. So when a function call will be made, the user input value will go from here to there and then perform the process. So now if I run this program, I will get straight, alright, when I say void main, I'll get to enter. I put 6 and press enter. I put 8, press enter, and here is 6 into 4, 6 plus 4. I can close this program, I can run this program again. This time I am putting another set of value. I get product and I get sum. So this is how you will be able to run this each function. Now suppose tomorrow I feel like this is supposed to be written in another class altogether by the master programmer. Because you are a student, you are only going to learn main from the same class. So in that case, if I want another function to add, I can easily add over here. I can even add after this. Remember, functions can be written anywhere in the program as long as they fall in between the bracket of the class from here to here. But they cannot be written inside a function. If there is one function, you should not declare inside one function another. They are independent here, main is also independent. I can write new function afterwards in between here. It is not important where you write, it is important in which order you call. The manner in which you will call will be depending upon the needs of the customer. What is his need are? You already have a function, it's just a call. For example, you can see these buttons over here. Alright, all buttons are available. If once I select a data, what I want to do, I click on that button, only that task is taking place. So this is how your functions work. Alright, so let us take one example from here. So if I pick up a question from here, alright, I have a list of questions here. So let us read this question. It says, write a program to input a number from the user and using a method void main, okay, that is you're going to input a number and pass the input value to a function called void series int. It means that a series will receive an integer and print the series from 1 to n. So I could have also here written int n like this. So I will accept the value coming from the main, value will come over here and we will say 1 to n. So if I have to design this program, okay, if I have to design this program, I'm going to come to this Java. Okay, now this is a program for series. So let us see the series over here. Is the series available here? No, this is a wrong series question. So I'll pick up a series from here. I have a series, I think, here. So here is a program series. First, understand the function. The job of a function is to create a void series with int n. So since there is a small n, I will also make it small n. And we generate from 1 to n. For I is equal to 1, less than equal to n, I plus plus. Here is a series of values going to be printed. Okay, so I'm just taking a direct value, then we will learn to input. So when I'm going to run main will call this series from here to here and supply 10 to n. 1 to 10, 10 number will get printed. If I run this independently, it will allow me to input a value over here and allow me to test the function. You should not allow the user, alright, to do anything with the function. So when I'm going to say main 1 to 10 because supply is 10. Suppose if I say void series, if I put here 12, I'll get 1 to 12. Any number I put, I'll get. Now, suppose I want input coming from the user. So I'm copying this input from here. Okay, input coming from the user. So I say copy from here. I close this program. I come here and in my main I say okay, let's input. For this you need import java.util.asterisk. Okay, and I don't need this series anymore now. Okay, so whatever user will type, I'll say call series series and into bracket I'll say a, because a is going to store a value coming from the user. Same value will be supplied from a to n and will receive and apply it over here. So now when I'm going to say input a number, computer will allow to input a number from the user, I put 25, I get 1 to 25 all the numbers. If I run this program, I take another value, I put some big number, I'll get all the values coming here from the user. It will carry on until the final value is input by the user is achieved. Okay, so I'll just minimize this. We will verify some other program and check it's still running. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this program. Alright, this is how you run. Then we take one more program, it's still running, it means some number I must have put really big. Okay, anyway, we'll see the other program first. So I have another program here. We say write a program to input a radius, alright, of a circle and use it, that is using void main method, pass this value to the function called void area double. So logically double means a double value will be received, where calculate the area of circle. Now the circle is given pi r square, where the value of pi is defined. So my function will have value pi r square being calculated, where pi value is fixed, r value will come from the user. Okay, so that is coming to from the user through the main. So if I go to the main program, I think this program is finished running. So let us see what has come. I don't remember also what number I put, but yeah, this must be the number I must have input. And if you look at this, here is your 1. So this is a number that I input. So it goes. Alright, now circle. Circle, if I take you to the circle program, okay, then here is a program. So we allow user now my main program. So my main program is allowing user to input a radius in the form of r. We are calling a function area and supplying the current value of r to this r. I can use it. Now you can use the same capital R, but they are two different because this process is different, this process is different. So even if you write capital R here, it will remain the different value, they are not same value. So copy of a number input, assuming that I input here, let's say 4.5, then it is called as area of 4.5. So 4.5 gets copied here, pi 3.142 into r. R square is r into r. You can apply math function as well. Math.sqrt POW of r comma 2. And the area of circle is done. So when I compile this program and run, it allows me to do both the ways. I input a value. So let's say if I say 4.5, there comes my answer. And if I run the function itself, then it may allow, alright, 4.2 some value which is going to calculate something like this. So I hope you guys have understood the meaning of function. Thank you. God bless. We will see call by value return type in the next function. I hope you must have understood this. Please repeat, revise the same function. Also don't forget to subscribe my channel. It will help you with all the ICC related explanation for your exam. Thank you very much. God bless.